Modern parenting gets called too soft all the time. No shouting, no punishment, too much talking. And if you grew up in a different generation, it can feel like kids today are just getting away with everything. Look a little closer, though. It's not softer. It's just different. Imagine this. You're in a supermarket. A toddler drops to the floor, crying, kicking, because they can't have something they want. The old way might sound like this. Stop it, right now. If you don't get up, we're leaving. And sometimes it works. The child stops. But now you'll often see something different. A parent kneels down, lowers their voice. I know you're upset. You really wanted that. Still holding the boundary, but not shutting the feeling down. Or something a lot more familiar. At home, it's bedtime. The child says no. No to brushing teeth, no to putting on pajamas. The old response might be, enough, go, now. And again, it often gets compliance. But a modern approach might look slower, sitting beside them. You don't feel like stopping play right now, do you? A pause, then gently guiding them through the transition. Not giving in, but not forcing it either. If you grew up in a different generation, it's worth recognizing this first. That way of parenting worked. It raised adults who were resilient, responsible, and knew how to respect boundaries. And it happened in a very different context. Less time, more pressure. So the focus made sense. Obedience, safety. When something needed to stop immediately, fear was often the fastest tool. Not ideal, but effective, especially in that environment. But over time, our understanding started to shift. What changed wasn't just parenting style. It was what we began to understand about children, especially their brains. Today we know that when a child feels scared or overwhelmed, the brain doesn't stay open and learning. It shifts into protection mode. So from the outside, the behavior might stop, but the deeper lesson doesn't really stick. And that's where the shift happened. From trying to control behavior quickly to helping a child learn how to handle what they feel. Not just obedience in the moment, but self-regulation over time. And this is where modern parenting often gets misunderstood. From the outside, it can look like nothing is being enforced. No raised voice, no immediate consequence, just a lot of talking. And it's easy to assume that the child is in control. But what's actually happening is much quieter than that. The boundary is still there. The answer is still no. The parent hasn't changed their position. What's changed is how they stay in that moment. Not stepping away, not overpowering, but staying close while the child moves through it. Because the goal isn't just to stop the behavior quickly, it's to help the child stay steady enough to actually take something from the moment. And that often looks slower, less dramatic, sometimes even ineffective at first. But over time, it builds something different. Not just compliance, but understanding. Not just quiet in the moment, but skills that last beyond it. So, what does that actually look like in real moments? It doesn't mean saying yes more often. It doesn't mean letting things slide. The boundary is still there, but instead of stop crying, it might sound like, I know you're upset. You really wanted that. And the answer is still no, but the child isn't left alone with that feeling. Or in those quieter moments, like getting ready for bed. Instead of rushing straight to control, it might look like slowing down just enough to help them move through the transition. Still guiding, still leading, just without turning it into a power struggle. Because over time, those small moments add up. The child starts to learn what to do when they feel overwhelmed, not because they're told to stop, but because they've been shown how to come back from it.
And maybe this is the part that matters most. This isn't about saying one way was right and the other was wrong. It's not a rejection of how previous generations raised us. It's simply an update. As we learn more about children, about behavior, we adjust, just like every generation has done before. Because at the core of it, nothing has really changed. The intention is the same: to raise a child who feels safe, confident, and able to handle the world around them. And when a child feels heard, they don't just become calmer. They grow up knowing how to express themselves, how to resolve conflict with words, not just reactions. Different approach, same love. If this gave you a new way of looking at it, and you're trying to raise a child with more calm, more connection, that's exactly what we explore here on Simply Raised. You might want to share this with someone from a different generation. Wishing you more patience, more understanding, and a little more ease each day.
Thank you so much for visiting.
We had a wonderful time. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.